piece I honestly wrote it 3 years ago. And this past Easter Sunday, my pastor, my sister pastor, he wrote a sermon basically off the title of Soul of Man. So I went home and I sketched out some ideas, and then I kind of fused the old poem and the poem I was working on, and now it's called Eternal Land. So if you just give me a little bit of your time here. When the sunrise kisses the sky and meets the vast canvas with fluorescent splashes of love, I know it's you. When I watch the violets violently pushed away through the soil searching for your light, I feel as I'm looking into a mirror. Every so often I rise from my deep phantom slumber and gaze upon the lifeless world waiting for the morning dew to dance against the leaves. It is then that I quietly ponder his journey, Jesus, the heart and tenderness of life who pours love over the sorrowful sphere of souls. I miss the days of your prestigious youth as you were
born by the river in a little tent. Oh, and just like that river, he's been running ever since.
And we should have known then that change was going to come. Before long, he was walking the roads of Jerusalem, healing the sick, raising the dead, as beams of his Father's light fell upon his head. Yeah. I missed the day John the Baptist dipped his gracious head and his spirit fled into the immense depths, cascading along toward the pure stream of infinite life. Far below your rightful place, you perform the great hymn of love, blowing peaceful choruses to your orchestra of 12. Here, there, and everywhere, people of all walks of life heard about this man spreading love and bliss. But I guess it just wasn't enough, as he was betrayed by a kiss. Yeah. And in the night, this man was moaning. In the night, the ground was groaning. In the night, the price was paid. Yet, after tonight, the world would be saved. And so the next morning, he had awoken aware of what the judge had spoken, beaten with massive blood loss, his fate to die on the cross. And he had to die for our sins as he dangled on the cross like hair does a bobby pin. And I can imagine upon his last breath we were given our first, an eternal quench of our daily thirst. And so he had to renounce his earthly home as his spirit fled to his heavenly throne. And his death was for us, for our cycle of life to continue. Even nature is engulfed into his plan. And just like the silent trees cradle the songbird, God cradles man. Yeah. Jack Kerouac, subterranean beatnik poet, spoke to me one night. Glowing, illuminated prose set from the tip of his ink glaring off the ruffled, dusty beat book, Mexico City Blues, and he said, Ryan, man loves in lilies and lives in milk, and in his milk he lives in creamy emptiness. Yeah. But I say that when will man, like a young calf feeding from his mother, draw from your word which is filled with immense light and creamy fulfillment. And this word was put here to illuminate our souls so we can rise boundlessly from the prison of hate to the freedom of love. But is it too late? And when the storms crash and floods us all, we stand there and moan, frozen in spirit. When we see him sounding the horizon with flames in his eyes, will we give him holy redemption? When the sky cracks against the dismal night, his hand stretched out like it always has from the beginning, will your heart finally become open? When the world begins to tremble, will we do the same and make a mistake and feel we are dismissed from the betrayal of our own kiss? I feel like we are weighed down under a tomb of ignorance and have fallen from our mother's womb, punished by doubt, that gloomy bird that strikes us with his wings and pushes us further into the dark sands of eternity. Now, I am not saying that I'm completely free from the ignorance, for at times I've turned the blinds on his light in fright that I was in the wrong place, as darkness shadowed my weary face. Yeah. I felt like the vulture standing over the dead carcass thinking, maybe this doesn't belong to me. Maybe I shouldn't sink my teeth into his flesh. My life was vaguely lit like the winter moon as fear traced my every move. I let his love be ignored. At times I would throw him a kiss into a pale ray just to say, this is me. I wonder, do you hear me? Do you see your child so caught up in a crippling fear of expression, sitting here listening to the tick and the tock, two sounds so prevalent to this sheep at a flock. Yet, all the while waiting patiently like a boat at the dock, sitting here waiting for you to release my anchor and allow this rambling mind to tread along the rippling waters of your spirit. Bob Dylan, prophet of captivating thought, once said, he not busy being born is busy dying. Yeah, I hear you, Dylan, but I say that the conductor of our life drives a slow train and he's waiting for you to drop your luggage, and it only is then that you can hear his train coming. And since that morning, after listening to the rain and the melancholy sounds of a man they call John Coltrane, I realize that I must acknowledge him, pursue him, and come to a resolution that he truly is a perfect being, our one and only, love supreme. So lastly, I say to you, beautiful souls of undeveloped spirit, illuminated flowers, love is the source of your being, so unlock the chains to your sunflower, gypsy, butterfly, soul, spread your wings and fly. Set yourself free from the decaying flesh of man and woman who suffer your radiant thoughts, thoughts so deeply seeped into the land, yet slaughtered like the pig in the farm, green, cool spring wind. Never mind the words of man, rather the words of the land.